And it's a rainy afternoon, everyone. Hello, how are you? This is JP here, and sa ilang sandali lang, we're very old. Hindi, hindi naman old, nag-birthday lang kahapon eh. Our good friend Ahmed, Attorney Awesome, will be joining us, and sigurado ako na miss nyo or alala nyo yung last time, just earlier this week, and we had a good feedback from you about this press conference, post press conference analysis or dissection ng ating mga discussions because a lot of news for tomorrow actually happens in press conferences like this, and mahalaga po yung mga balita ngayong araw na to through this press conference, and it would be very important for us to see the whole thing, and then not only that, also discuss. By the way, so yesterday we were able to experiment. If you were able to join us yesterday, no? ICDO, Cagayan de Oro City, CDOC. Sino ba mga kasama natin ngayon? Why don't you say hello dito sa ating chat? Right, Myla and Pinay Paparazzi, Emily Ann Bacolod, good afternoon, and then of course si Amor. Amor. Whenever you say Amor talaga naalala ko talaga si Amor. Amor, my love. Okay, si Feisty and Edgar. Ay, Edgar, mayong hapon. Mayong hapon, sir. Nasa Texas pala kayo. Okay, and then asa na ba si Attorney Ahmed? But by the way, while waiting for him, ilagay lang natin itong ating sa stream, ating material, and so that we can adjust the size. All right. So, this live feed just finished in Malacanang, no? And we just downloaded it para mas malinaw ang ating rebroadcast. And then, this is actually so lagyan lang natin ng attribution. Sige, ito muna, Creative Commons. But this is government material, so we don't really need to, we don't need any additional permission here. This is fair use. And, alright, wait. So, walang discrimination. Alright, good. May mga birthdays ba na gusto mag-predict dyan? Just ano. So, last night, we were
Si
able to...
Cruz-Angeles para sumagot ng ilang katanungan.
Magandang tanghali. Ngayong araw na ito, kayo po ay i-address ni Secretary of the Interior and Local Government, Benhar Abalos. Habang iniintay po natin siya, papahayag ko lang po na nag-cabinet meeting kami kaninang umaga. Nagpresenta po ng mga plano at programa ang Department of Agrarian Reform at saka ang Department of Energy. Nag-status report din po ang DSWD at saka ang Housing kasama ang ating bagong kalihim tungkol dun sa mga efforts for during the earthquake and after. Lalong-lalo na ukol dun sa housing. Sila na po ang magpapahayag ng mga detalye tungkol dito. Kung mayroon po kayong mga katanungan sa akin.
First question, Marisol Halili, TV5.
Hi ma'am, magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon.
Ma'am, napag-usapan po ba kanina sa cabinet meeting yung tungkol po sa US and China tension? Was it mentioned? What did the president say about it? Did he give any directive?
Hindi po siya kasama sa agenda kanina.
But did the president give his comment about it? Did he mention anything?
Ma'am, pag ukol sa international relations, parati po tayong nag-iingat. Ngunit suffice it to say na minomonitor po ng matindi ang sitwasyon. Wala po tayong reaction o statement ukol doon.
Ma'am, last na lang po, other issue po. Ma'am, pakilinaw po yung status ng PEZA because DG Charito Plaza said that she will not acknowledge the appointed OIC kasi appointed by the Trade Secretary kasi PEZA daw po is not considered a GOCC, therefore it's not covered by MC1 and MC3. It's a government instrumentality. That was her explanation. So ano po ang estado po ng PEZA? Covered po ba siya?
Wala pa po kasing statement ang ating Pangulo tungkol dyan. Kapag meron na po, itatalakay po natin.
Salamat po.
Next,
Okay, wait. So that those are two issues right then and there. We are all familiar with what's going on with with tensions in Taiwan after the visit of Nancy Pelosi, okay, na kinagalit ng matindi ng mga Chinese officials as a parang a show of disrespect or something like that. They call it like that, and they're threatening to actually also show their might in return. But the second issue, I hope hindi natin kailangan i-annotate yan. The second issue is MC1 and MC2. What are these things? The first thing there is yung MC1 and MC2 are issued by the executive secretary. Okay, Ozam is coming up, and I hope he will be able to join us soon. Now, this is the most important part because as criticized, or alam mo yun, it's not actually a criticism against any president, but as our system is, meron tayong about 6 to 8,000 positions that are appointed by the president. So whenever a president takes over, pwede niyang retain or pwede niyang tanggalin yung lahat ng mga empleyadong na i-appoint ng isang presidente na ang category ay coterminous. Okay? Oops, move nga natin. Ang pangit naman yung itsura ni
Question?
Trixie. Okay. Yan lang ah. Sorry. Ayun. No? So this issue here is yung MC1 actually was the first thing that came out from this administration. The executive order of the order of the executive secretary was for every appointed position official whose appointment was made by previous administrations or previous presidents na coterminous, their positions were considered vacant. Okay, can you join us now, attorney? Are you ready? Can I put you up? Okay, you can put up yourself into this. Wala pa. Okay, you're still doing some settings. All right.
Okay na
there you go.
ako.
Good. So I was explaining the MC1 and MC2. I know you were already listening, no? Kasi yun yung unang buga kaagad na question, no? So MC3 is what, attorney? Still connected to MC1, right? Yung pagbabakit
MC2.
ng mga positions.
MC1, MC2.
No, executive order number 2. MC3, that is what Attorney Trixie is referring to, MC1 and MC3. Okay.
MC1 and MC2 yata ang sinasabi, ang nabasa
Alright.
natin dito. Na-discuss natin dito MC1, MC2.
MC2 is executive order number 2 actually. Ano? What is it?
OPS. Yung sa
Yeah,
OPS.
OPS. No, but the MC3
Diba?
is about all the positions that are vacated and who takes over. So this issue with Charito Planas ba or Plaza? Plaza.
Plaza.
Ching Plaza. Plaza is from Surigao, tama? The former congresswoman. And yun, so may issue na yung iba dyan ayaw umalis. And there are a lot of offices actually na ayaw umalis ng mga vacate na mga positions. Do you want to add something to this, attorney? Like your
Yes.
favorite NTC?
Yeah, ang NTC ganun din.
Pero wag natin
Hindi rin
dagdagan.
sila
Wag natin dagdagan.
nagsisalis. Pero okay, ang point dito, ano na ba narinig na ba nila yung pinagsasabi
Yeah.
nitong babae kasi nag-insist pa to eh. Pangalawa na ba din yung tanong o first pa lang?
First pa lang.
Okay, sige. Mamaya pa.
All right, so just a backgrounder on the issue.
Ivan Mayrina, GMA 7.
Ma'am, may we get a palace statement on the 6.4 inflation rate for the month of July?
Ay, bago pa lang po yan. Sorry, hindi din po natalakay kanina. Pero ilalabas namin as soon as may statement po tayo. Although I understand ang maglalabas po ng statement tungkol dito ay ang DOF. Apo, kay
Next question, Vance Fernandez.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ganang hapon.
Yes. With the recent oath-taking of new PNP Chief Police Lieutenant General Azurin, what are President Marcos' marching orders for the new Chief PNP? Or does it have any new changes to the internal operation and policies of the Philippines National Police? And did the President move towards ordering the new PNP chief to take a harsher or easier approach in regards to tackling internal peace and security issues. Any reaction on this?
One, we don't normally react. But, okay. There are no marching orders that we know of. The primary mandate of the PNP is to keep order. So, peace and order ang kanilang primary na mandato. Pagkatapos niyan ay sila din po ang primary executors. They execute the law. They enforce the law. So beyond that, the President has not made any other specific orders. Paalala ko lang po, bahagi din naman po ng peace and order, sa peace and order program ng Presidente, yung continuity. So whatever it was that has already been there from the past administration, if it works, we continue that program.
Next question, Pia Gutierrez, ABS-CBN.
Ma'am, magpa-follow up lang po yung sa question ni Maricel tungkol po dun sa PEZA. Habang ongoing po itong issue ng leadership sa PEZA, sino po ang kinikilalang OIC ng Malacanang?
Ang kinikilala natin will be kung ano yung angkop under MC1 and 3.
At ito po ay si...
Kung sino po yung OIC.
So, sino po ito, ma'am? Is it OIC Panga or si ano pa rin po? Si Director General Charito Plaza?
Ma'am, like we said, i-apply natin yung MC1 and 3 at titingnan natin yung interpretation ng ahensya. So, right now, I still have to find that out. But we have been strictly implementing MC1 and 3.
All right. Attorney Ahmed, this is what you've been waiting for, no? Hey, can I put you into soup? Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Sige.
So,
Putol kasi ako eh. Hina na naman ng...
you're okay actually. It's just the video, but your audio is very good. And it's raining, kaya nga may problema na naman tayo sa signal. And our guests know, okay? Just tell us what you want to say about this one. Hello.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Kasi nagloloko na
Loud and
naman yung
clear.
aking connection.
No,
Okay, sige.
your audio is okay.
Okay. Okay. Itong sitwasyon na to, itong tinatanong na kung sino ang OIC tapos hindi siya sinagot dahil walang sagot. Walang sagot. There is a controversy. What is a controversy? A controversy is a disagreement between two relevant parties on an issue of law. Okay? There is an issue of law that there are two parties that are, especially here, they appear to have a colorable right to the position that they are talking about. And each one of these parties have a different interpretation of how the declaration of the president or the appointment is to be interpreted in relation to the nature of the agency and the power of the president over that agency. Okay? Ngayon, ang argument ng isang babaeng ay itong unang nakaupo, itong incumbent na lang tawag natin sa kanya, ay dahil hindi to GOCC, okay, dito siya GOCC, ay hindi mag-a-apply yung MC1 at saka 3. Okay? Yan yung argument niya. Yan yung argument niya. So, ang isa naman, yun ang mga kaka-appoint lang, ang kanyang argument is the default argument, which is it is the president that appoints every person in this government, every leader of any instrumentality in this government, except for the constitution bodies. Okay? Everyone in his government, meaning his government, his administration, the body that runs the executive, is supposedly under the control and supervision of the president. So, yan yung argument itong bagong appoint. So ngayon, there is a controversy. Ano ang mangyayari kung may controversy? Kailangan merong isang separate body na unbiased, na impartial, na magde-decide dyan. Okay? At ang batas natin ay nagsasabi na either dalhin yan sa korte or merong tinatawag na exhaustion of executive or administrative remedies. Exhaustion. Kailangan ubusin ng lahat ng remedyo sa loob ng body na yan, which is now here is the executive, There is also, of course, the other two bodies, the legislature and the judiciary. But ang sabi ng administrative law natin, ang administrative code natin, ay kailangan i-exhaust ang lahat ng remedyo o solusyon sa loob ng um, body of government, which is the executive, bago yan dalhin sa korte, bago dalhin sa judiciary. So at this point, wala pa, hindi pa yan siya na nadadala sa isang forum o sa isang tinatawag nating tribunal, para i-resolve yung controversy. At it takes a little bit of time kasi it has to hear the two sides that are disagreeing with each other. So it's probably going to take a week or several days. So ang ano dito, ang leksyon dito is that we have to wait. The law
Yes.
has procedures for all of these things. Okay? And not everything happens just because you ask about it or just because it exists.
So, ibig
There is time allowed by law and allowed by our constitution to resolve these things. And once they are resolved, then you have your solution.
Yes. Yes. And
Insisting on this, what has to be answered is bordering on ridiculous. This woman is really does not really understand what the hell is going on.
yeah, but as the office of the executive secretary is actually the one overseeing all the departments, right? Para siyang primus inter pares, no? The prime among peers, no? And Attorney Trixie being a secretary, so parang in terms of levels, the executive secretary is the one kumbaga, overseeing all the secretaries in one way or another. And asking the press secretary to comment on an issue which will yet be received by the press secretary. Her, kumbaga, they're at the same level, but actually, parang in this particular case, yun yung yun yung may jurisdiction ng issue na yan. So I think this is a very unfair insistence on for her to make a prejudgment on something which she's not even the one who's required to make a judgment on. But but this is the but here. There will be others like this na magkakascade. So this might be just the first among rainfall of issues like this. Yeah, because
Issues
hindi
like
to,
controversies like that.
yeah, because hindi to normal itong ginawa ni executive secretary, di ba? Na nag-issue siya ng okay, rather than wait, your mic is rather than issuing or waiting for the usual mag-submit kayo ng courtesy resignation. Alala niyo yun, every transition of government, no? Na nagkakaroon ng iringan, lagi away. Kasi parang, bakit hindi ka nag-courtesy resignation? Yan, yung mga ano yan. Di ba? Naalala niyo? So this time, para malinaw, ang ginawa ng executive secretary, inisyuhan niya ng memorandum. Bakante na yung lahat ng pwesto niyo. And this is actually more expedient than waiting for them to issue their resignations. Can we proceed, Tony? Next one? Yeah?
sabihin, ma'am, kung sino po yung nire-recognize
OIC.
ng PESA. So, this is Deputy Director General Panga. Tama po ba?
We will have to see, ma'am. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Opo.
But we're firm on recognizing under MC1 and 3.
Yes, ma'am. On the matter po nung MC1 and 3, can we clarify po talaga if PESA is covered under this memorandum circular?
Tulad ng sinabi ko, bago po kasi itong development na ito, bigay ko yung information as soon as I get it.
Pero what is Malacanang doing po to clarify the matter?
Ma'am, since bago nga po yung development, most likely, once it has reached the office of the President or the Executive Secretary, it will be submitted with the studies and recommendations.
Kasi I understand si Ms. Plaza has asked ES to clarify the matter. When do we expect po a clarification coming from Malacanang?
It will be subject to the usual procedures. Once received, the Office of the Executive Secretary will immediately act on it, either by studying the matter and referring it to Deputy Legal, Or if the answer is clear already, then they will simply make the recommendations right away.
Salamat po.
Vince Lopez, Manila Standard.
Saglit. Wait. Okay. Itong ini-insist nitong babaeng ito, who I think now is slowly becoming a moron, ini-insist niya na dapat merong nakapangalan na OIC man lang dyan. Okay. The problem there is agencies can function even if their leader agencies are not one-person offices. They are offices filled with so many people that are assigned the tasks of that agency. This is not a one-person agency. This woman is belaboring the point that she thinks that this agency won't work if there is no named leader of this agency. This woman is just completely lost.
All of our government agencies actually, they can run without their bosses, and that's why their bosses can actually go ramping around and enjoying themselves in whatever trainings that are always in their schedules every year. But yun, and alam mo yun, insisting on a name, I would understand that Attorney Trixie is not familiar with all 2 million 2 million employees of the government, no, and maybe about 10,000 heads. So mahirap mo atang i-memorize yun. So insisting on a particular name is not really fair. Can we move on, Attorney? Yep.
Ma'am, good afternoon po.
Magandang hapon.
Pwede po makakuha ng information regarding po sa meeting ninyo yesterday with the NDRRMC, MMD, and PHIVOX DOST regarding po sa disaster resiliency ng ating bansa.
Kahapon po, ang pinag-usapan ay primarily yung responses during the earthquake at may konting evaluations. Hindi pa po ganong kalaliman, kundi diniscuss natin how things could be, how the things are. And
Intermission lang to, nothing controversial. If you have not yet seen, Attorney Trixie has launched, I think she has launched a new Facebook page for the Office of the Press Secretary. Please check it out. And yan yung unang-una ko nakita kanina umaga na naka-feature. Yeah, it's nice. Yung meeting na yan,
how they can be made better, taking suggestions from the other agencies. Since hindi pa po final yung mga pagbabago ng mga procedures, yun pa lang po ang napag-usapan. Ang contribution namin po doon ay kilalanin po yung need for communications, lalong-lalo na dun sa mga lugar kung saan papatid yung ating mga cell signals. So, ginawa nating of primary concern din po yan.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Any other? Nel Mariwong, UNTV.
Natalakay po ba yung 2023 national budget sa cabinet meeting or mapapaaga yung submission sa Congress?
Tapos na po yung pagtatalakay in the last cabinet meeting kung saan nagpresenta ang DBM. Binibigyan po ng pagkakataon, binigyan po kami lahat ng pagkakataon na to fine-tune yung approved na budget, kung meron kaming mga gustong pagbabago at kung kakayanin. Last Wednesday po yung aming deadline. So, ang gagawin niyan is ayusin ng DBM pursuant to that kung kakayanin, and then may submission po, and the submission, yes, will be on time.
Any other question from Malacanang? Alvin Baltasar.
Secretary, magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon.
Secretary, what do we expect tomorrow doon sa pagkikita ni President Marcos and Secretary of State Blinken?
Ay wala po talagang published na agenda. So, pati kami, we will find out about it if the President decides to address the issue after the meeting.
yan, this is the event that we all have to be looking forward to, and we should look at this as with as much open mind as we can, kasi will not be surprising if your friends in the media will present this in a way na parang merong issue, merong controversy. But okay, since the end of Duterte's term, we have seen the efforts of both of all, actually not just both, no, all parties between the United States and the Philippines trying to get to terms, no? Kasi as of now, cooperation will be very, very critical, and there will be a lot of posts tomorrow bashing on the Americans, provoking this administration to be to hate the Americans. Uh, please make this woman's life, or make this president's life easier by not joining into the fray. Pero yan ang pinakamainit na issue tomorrow.
Last question before Secretary Abalos. Yes, Ivan Medina, GMA 7.
Ma'am, on the Taiwan situation, ano ho ang utos ng Pangulo patungkol sa sitwasyon ng Filipino community doon should the tension escalate into actual violent conflict?
Sa ngayon po, minomonitor natin ang sitwasyon. So, magre-react na lang po tayo matapos ang masusing pag-aaral at saka subject to the information that we get from that monitoring. Before that, the President will not yet issue a statement. Tignan po natin kung ano yung mga pangyayari. Nag-iingat po tayo dito sa mga ganitong klaseng sitwasyon.
Thank you. I think we can still accommodate one more question. Any other question from Malacanang Press Corps? Maricel Halili, TV5.
Ma'am, sorry, follow up ko lang po yun sa inflation kanina. I understand that you will still have to prepare a statement about that. But is this something that you have already expected, yung 6.4 na inflation? Nag-increase pa rin po siya despite the fact na nagkaroon ng rollback sa prices ng petroleum in the past few weeks. So is this something that you have already expected?
I understand that these were projected even before, given the inputs on due to the international events that have led to the increase in the prices of petroleum. So all of this had been factored, and in fact was even mentioned in the State of the Nation of the President. So yes, it's part of it. We have expected this. So we'll just wait until it evens out, and the details of which should be asked of the DOF.
Okay, wait. The inflation issue is a worldwide issue, no? In fact, the problem na lagi namin pinag-uusapan ni Ahmed, whether it's time or whether it's timely na pumasok tayo sa ating mga discussions on the economics of things, but we deem it na masyado pa maaga for us to be harping on these issues. Pero ito yung mahalagang malaman natin, no, which is not really fully discussed right now. The problem worldwide is the uncontrollable inflation all over the world. Okay, because of many factors convoluting the entire problem. Andiyan ka na, meron kang supply side issues, kakulangan sa supply. And then meron naman in some instances disruptions in the distribution system, and which makes the supply more expensive or even unable to reach their destinations. And the third issue is yung demand, no? Rising demand for consumer goods na hindi siya napoproduce because of the disruptions also in the production. So all of these things, law of supply and demand, is actually have not been seen for the longest time in the world's economy, and we have to be very, very conscious about these things. Actually yung main main player dyan is not just the DOF, but it's the Bangko Sentral of Pilipinas.
Any more question while waiting for Secretary Abalos?
Si Secretary Alvaros will be giving us a very nice
questions pa po ba?
very nice report.
Naubos natin yung tanong ninyo.
Yeah.
Showbiz. Naku, mahina kasi ako sa showbiz eh.
We have Tuesday New from DZBB. Ma'am.
As in, super hina talaga.
Ayan.
Ma'am, tungkol lang po doon sa social pension for senior citizens. Sabi po kasi ng National Commission for Senior Citizens, most likely next year pa po matatanggap ng mga beneficiary yung 1,000 pesos dahil wala para fund for this year. But can the government parang in a form of ayuda para sa taong ito, mabigyan din yung senior citizens para lang mapunuan yung dapat na pondo nilang matatanggap ngayong taon?
Ma'am, theoretical po kasi yung tanong ninyo eh. Kaya ba kung ano? So, titignan po natin. But it was not intended to be executed this year kasi tapos na nga po yung budget. In fact, tapos na yung budget for 2023. So, titignan po natin kung paano maipagkakasya. Yung, ano. But we have, since it's a law, it will be executed.
Thank you. Secretary Abalos.
Okay. Pinakikilala po natin yung ating napakasipag na kalihim ng Department of the Interior and Local Governments, Benhar Abalos.
Okay, si Secretary Abalos, watch out for his report. It's very, very significant and maganda po.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, no? At sa lahat po ng mga nakikinig ngayong hapon na ito. I just want to Marge, can I get the slides, please? Okay, I just want to report that last week, about 7 days ago, there were about 100 Apusayaf who surrendered in Holo, Sulu. And yesterday, or 2 days ago, about 50 NPA rebel returnees also surrendered to the fall of the government. I'm going to show to you pictures. The pictures being shown now when I'm in white, those are taken in Cagayan de Oro. Most of the weapons are being destroyed. No? We made sure that some of these firearms are destroyed. Yan, hawak-hawak ko yung nasirang ano. So these are rebel returnees, and this is of course because of our program in the ECLIP, no, the Comprehensive Local Integration Program, this task force. Of course, kasama natin dito ang kapulisyahan, kasama natin dito ang ating mga kasama sa gobyerno, si Governor Roque of Bukidnon, ang DLG family, ang NICA. And what is important here is, ito namang isang picture na to, anuhin ko lang is, this one are the Abu Sayyaf. I think this is the biggest or the largest number of Abu Sayyaf who surrendered so far. 100 of them. And even the firearms, no? Kompleto po sa firearms po iyan, no? Talagang diyan natin makikita ang talagang samahan ng government, si Sakurtan, si Governor Sakurtan po ang nakasama natin dyan. Ayan, siya ay naka-asul. Of course, last week kaya kasama ko po si General Vic Danao of the PNP. And not only that, kasama rin natin ang iba't ibang ahensya ng government. No? What is important in this program is, surrendering is just one day. What is important is, after surrendering, and that is what, sabi ko nga, wars are just not won by guns. It is won by heart. Especially now that we have a very caring government under the Ferdinand Marcos administration. And we will make sure of that. After this, basic things will be provided. And what is important, of course, is our economy. Para naman maramdaman ito ng ating mga kababayan. So, I just want to report, after this, I've gone to the province of Lamitan. This was last week. This is because of the Umol case that happened there. I just want to make sure that I had a meeting with different agencies of government, with the police, and with the members of the city, mga empleyado ng City Hall at mga tao roon, to make sure that it will be very peaceful in Lamitan, in Basilan. Okay? Can we turn on the other, no? Pakita naman natin yung buy bus natin na drugs.
First, mahalaga dito sa report ni Secretary Benhur Abalos is the success of convincing at least 100 Bisaya from Hulo and 50 NPAs. In fairness, I think this is still part of the success of that former NTFL CAC mga programs. Hindi natin dapat ikailay na success nila yan. And ayun, ang point ni Abalos dito is we need to focus on the development aspect and then the recovery aspect. Kasi itong armed conflict na nangyayari, it's really a disturbance to everyone else's lives. Meron tayong external threat, dadagdag pa yan. Okay, so we thank also these returnees na sa wakas nabawasan naman kahit pa paano. Yan, continue natin.
We show it, March. Okay, I'm just waiting for the slides, no? And this time also, this was also last week. Sunod-sunod, after this is, pagkagali namin sa Abra ng Pangulo, I went straight to San Fernando, Pampanga, where again, our Philippine National Police, no, had this year, to my mind, it's one of the biggest buy-bust operation in the amount of 408 million, no, methamphetamine. I'm just waiting for the pictures, for the slides. Okay. So, habang wala pa,
so sila rin sa Malacanang may technical issues, pareho lang tayo.
Itong Enhanced Comprehensive Integration Program of the Government, which is ECLIP, this is particularly for the rebel returnees. No? In this case, yung nakita nyo kanina, andyan na yung mga kasamahan natin dito sa NPA and of course ating mga kapatid na mga sa Abu Sayyaf. No? So when they returned, they will receive immediate assistance, livelihood assistance, and then another reintegration assistance, and firearms remuneration. No? Yung mga sinusurrender nilang mga armas. Plus, of course, some halfway house para construction. No? At to make sure also, for their safety, babantayan din namin sila. At of course, yung iba pang mga tulong ng mga ibang ahensya ng gobyerno.
Hello? Di ba? Kayo naman ang...
Hello, naalala mo ba yung hamburger? Oh, yun. Naalala mo yung hamburger?
Si Abalos, tatay niyan.
Oh, ito si
Borger lang yan, Borger.
Oh, this one is the Abalos 2.0. Kasi ang galing-galing magsalita eh. Kung yung tatay senator, ito magaling talaga to. Naalala niyo ba yung senator and hamburger?
What is important with this kind of program,
Nervyoso.
mukhang dire-diretso na dahil I've been receiving a lot of invitations. This week, pupunta na naman ako sa isang lugar and there might be another surrendery, batch of surrendery. At sana sunod-sunod na ito para ang tunay na kapayapaan ay maramdaman na ng bawat isa. So, this is my report in behalf of the DILG. No, it's the rebel surrenderies, the one in Lamitan, and of course the drug buy bust. March, do we have the slides for the buy bust? May technical difficulty. Mamaya ako nalang ipapakita. Okay? Sige, thank you.
Hindi kami nagsusolo dito, sila rin meron ha.
Yes,
Gumagapang yung signal ko.
we are in opening questions for
It's okay.
Secretary Abalos. Miss Tuesday New.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Secretary Abalos, sir.
Yes.
With this surrendering of 100 Abu Sayyaf group na sinasabi po ninyo, ano po ang implication nito? Pwede ba nating sabihin na sa mga susunod na panahon o at least itong taon na to, wala na tayong dapat na asahan na pag-atake ng mga ASG dyan sa Mindanao area?
Well, ang masasabi ko lang is that right now, this is the biggest batch of surrenderies. No? Of course, meron pa namang Abu Sayyaf dyan. No? Pero malaki na ang kinahina. I was informed talaga, napakalaki na ng kinahina. Napakaganda po ng Sulu. They've got one of the most pristine beaches I've ever seen. Napakaganda ng lupa, ready for agriculture. No, nakahanda na, lalo na ngayon, na Secretary of Agriculture. Walang iba kundi ang ating presidente. No? I'm sure. So, ito'y parang naihahanda na for economic progress. Of course, if there is peace, sunod-sunod na po ito. No? Ang pagkakasabi sa akin talagang heavily, halos, hindi ko lang masabi na yung number, pero bababa na po. No? So, I'm sure dire-diretso and sa ating mga kapatid naman na nasa NPA naman, no? Ito ho, dire-diretso na rin. Sana naman sa mga nanonood, nakikinig ngayon, at kung may kakilala kayo, mga member ng NPA, sana pag-isipan nating maigi. Ito ang gobyerno, ito'y makikinig, ito'y gagawa ng paraan para naman lahat ng programa ay maibigay sa ating. Kaya there's no more reason para kumawa pa tayo ng armas laban sa gobyerno. No? I'm sure sa tamang pagtutulungan, talaga magiging very, very successful po ito. Thank you, Tuesday.
Miss Evelyn Quiros, Filipino Mirror.
Good afternoon, Secretary Abalos.
Yes, Evelyn.
In relation po dun sa na-mention niyo na big bust po sa San Fernando, Pampanga, may final na po pa kayong kaso against dun sa mga involved and matitiyak niyo, kasi po ng mga nakakarang administrasyon, marami pong mga drug bust na actually mga mas malaki pa ho dito, pero wala na ho. Pagkatapos ng mahuli sila, hindi na natin nalaman kung nag-file ba or hindi ho ba? Ano po talaga yung direction natin dito?
Maraming salamat for that question, Evelyn. Naniniwala ako na ang tunay na the true success of any buy-bust is the conviction of the accused. That is why nag-benchmarking ako sa DILG. I've asked the police to provide me cases where they are right now, how many are pending, how many arrests were made, and how many convictions. For me, convictions are very, very important. We have made an interagency task force together with Secretary Boying Remulla. Remember, when it comes to criminal cases, ang una pong pupuntahan ng kababayan natin ay ang kapulisyahan. At ang unang haharap ay ang investigador. So ang investigador ang gagawa ng demanda para sa iyo. Remember, medyo komplikado yan. Why? Dapat may working knowledge yan ng criminal law. Because dapat ilagay mo lahat ng elements of a crime kung ano sinusumbong. Isang element mawala, pwede madismiss ang kaso. So with this, we've made a program with the good secretary for a mentorship program. We will try to assess the capacity of our investigators, try to help them, give incentives. And even for the new police, magkakaroon kami probably aptitude test to see who could be investigators because they are very, very material in this case. Number two, when it comes to drug cases, most of these are being dismissed on a technicality because of Article 21. Ano sinasabi ng Article 21? Once there is an arrest of this evidence in court, it must be witnessed by two persons, a barangay official or a member of the media or a representative from the Department of Justice. Karamihan ng kaso, isa lang ang testigo, ang barangay. Anong nangyayari? Nadidismiss ang kaso. Masi kano kalaki, kano kahirap. In Mandaluyong, what my wife did, Mayor Menchi, she hired one employee, assigned the employee to the Department of Justice, ang trabaho na lang ay mag-witness sa lahat ng mga drug bust.
Teka lang, attorney, nababahala ako sa pahayag na yan ni Benher Abalos. Are you able to hear me? Na nag-hire daw yung kanyang asawa ng isang empleyado para maging second witness. Di ba yung witnesses na allowed is just the barangay official or the media and the media personnel. Pero rewind ko lang ng konti, narinig mo ba yan?
Dalawang tao yan dapat, tapos or yan sila, or and or.
Yeah, again.
In court, it must be witnessed by two persons, a barangay official or a member of the media or a representative from the Department of Justice. Karamihan ng kaso, isa lang ang testigo, ang barangay. Anong nangyayari? Nadidismiss ang kaso. Masi kano kalaki, kano kahirap. In Mandaluyong, what my wife did, Mayor Menchi, she hired one employee, assigned the employee to the Department of Justice, ang trabaho na lang ay mag-witness sa lahat ng mga drug bust at tumistigo. And you know what? Wala na kaming dismissal technicality because of one single gesture of an LGU. That is why I requested the League of...
Okay, wait lang. Magandang ano to, no? Parang ginagawa niya is looking for best practices na maaaring i-apply to other LGUs. What can you say about that idea, attorney? Okay, ang idea is, the third pala is the representative from the DOJ. So in this case, I think what he's saying is his wife assigned a local government employee to the DOJ. Parang merong ganun, di ba? Pwede mong i-assign yung ano. So, taga-DOJ siya, pero empleyado siya ng city. And siya yung ano. How does this work? Hindi ba lalabas na?
Inaapi talaga ako nitong PLDT.
Go.
Susumbong ko to kay Attorney Trixie itong PLDT na to. PLDT, makinig kayo. Kasalanan nyo to.
Sige. But bago yan, ano yung masasabi mo kaya sa idea na to?
Okay, ang sinabi niya, napanood ko na to kanina eh.
Yes.
Ang sinabi niya, nag-hire daw yung kanyang wifey. Yung wifey niya nag-hire. Mayor ba yung wifey niya?
Yes, she is.
Mayor ba? Mayor. Nag-hire daw ng isang tao na maging professional witness for the city. Okay? That is not a good enough substitute for what the law requires. Ang requirement ng batas ay kailangan may two-witness rule sa legality ng aresto at pag-search ng mga operations. Okay? Ngayon, for the meantime, it is going to be a viable solution only until somebody questions it in court. Okay? Pero as it is now, that is an irregular solution. That is a really irregular. That is an irregular way of complying with the law. Kasi this now means na magka-president na pwede na nating i-circumvent yung batas. Na ang ni-require ng batas ay kailangan merong dalawang responsible persons who are officials of government or of members of the media na magiging independent at saka competent and hindi pwedeng impartial. So kung yung tao na yan na inassign nila ay empleyado ng gobyerno, that person will always side with the government, will always side with the city whose police arrested that person, that accused. So, ang mangyayari is
So, ang,
there is no more independence. There is no more impartiality. This person is being employed just to witness that there was a valid arrest. Diba?
professional witness, yeah, that was my first reaction actually, no? Pero yung, ang ano dito is, yung smart part dito is, yung, they assigned a local government employee to be absorbed by a national government employee. Yun lang yung tanong ko dyan whether the civil service actually allows that for you to qualify as a representative of the DOJ when you're actually an employee of the local government unit. So, yun, I wonder why this, bugado naman to si Ben-Hur, di ba? Kasi yung tatay niya, bugado eh.
Abogado yan.
Yeah. So okay, let's just assume that it's a valid or legal thing until it is proven to be questionable.
Of cities,
Pero hold on.
mayors,
Until we want to repeat this so everyone understands this. That situation, that solution is good. It's a initiative. That is a good initiative on the part of the mayor. But again, it may pose as a circumvention of the requirement of the rules of court and of the law. So, kailangan natin yung solusyonan, and the only way to do that is for somebody to question it in court. Kung hindi siya tatanungin, it will be presumed by the law to be regular, and therefore it will continue happening.
Pero
Okay?
if we,
So the
if we,
accused or one of the accused siguro will question that.
yeah,
And if the lawyer of the accused is worth his penny, then he will do that for us.
yes. But okay.
Okay.
Actually may isang opportunity dito which is relevant to our advocacy also. Yung sa media part, no? Kasi if magkaroon ng structure whereby social media personalities, depending if they are able to meet certain criteria, na maaring maging role ni Attorney Trixie given her tasks dun sa EO number 2, no, to oversee this part of this developing industry, na kung dumami yung kunwari ma-consider as media, no, by a definition, kasi wala naman talagang registration required there, no. Yung
Tama.
mga social media
Pwedeng
social media personalities na hindi naman dapat kahit sino na lang. There should be a certain set of criteria. Hindi lang na nagkaroon ka lang ng account sa Facebook, media ka na, di ba? Maybe may criteria dyan na gaano katagal, and then gaano ka dalas yung to maintain that or whatever, no? But there's an opportunity there to increase the number of media persons who can be called upon by the PNP to
will be available.
To make themselves available. Kaysa isang lugar, meron ka lang, sabihin natin, 15 na reporter doon. Di ba? In a province, may 15 ka lang na reporters dyan sa iba't iba, sa dalawang istasyon na nag-exist. Yun. Kung marami kang social media players, di ba? Di marami tayong pwedeng mag-witness. Hindi tayo pwedeng patayin talaga ni Maria Ressa, no?
the League of Provincial Governors, and of course, the League of Municipalities, baka po pwedeng gawin nila yon. It's so, wag na nating antayin maamendahan batas. Let's work within the law. We have to fill in the gaps. Kung may gap na ganito, punuan na lang natin. Kaya nga nananawagan ako noon sa ating mga alkalde, local chief executive, baka pwedeng gawin yon just to hire. Okay. Another issue about this. When it comes to hearing, yung police na reassign sa ibang lugar, yung police na promote, at kung tatawagin na siya ngayon sa hearing, kung walang testigo, tandaan nyo yan, pwede ma-dismiss. Or pwede na sabihin na the right to speedy trial. Hindi ba? Kung dire-diretso. So, I will be requesting the Supreme Court, no? Dahil merong body rin dito, if it's possible na magkaroon ng online hearing. In the event yung kapulisyahan ay nasa malayong lugar, let's say nasa Mindanao at nasa ano, baka po pwede online hearing na lang. Dahil maraming komplikasyon. So these are the things we are doing right now. We are trying to benchmark on things, anong mga gaps dito, anong mga dapat gawin po natin dito. Again, what is important is not the number of cases. What is important are the quality of cases filed and not the arrest but rather the conviction. At yung po ang drive namin dito sa DILG at sa PNP, of course, in cooperation with the Department of Justice. Okay.
Mas
Next
mabagal pa
question.
siya magsalita.
Vince from Manila Standard.
Sir, good afternoon po.
Yes, Vince.
Sir, will the government intensify its illegal drugs campaign, particularly in Metro Manila, following the accomplishments of the DILG on the San Fernando, Pampanga
Pakiulit
drug
nga
bust?
niya
Well,
ang
yes,
tanong niya. Pakiulit ang tanong
We
niya.
will
Ulitin na-
surely intensify the war on drugs. But you know,
Ulitin natin yung tanong nung
for me,
yung
it's
lalaki na yun.
benchmark on things, anong mga gaps dito.
Ano yung sinabi
Another
niya kasi
issue about
merong
this,
funny doon eh.
when it comes to
Funny,
hearing,
importante.
yung police na ring. In the event yung kapulisyahan ay nasa malayong lugar, let's say nasa Mindanao at nasa ano, baka po pwede online hearing na lang.
Anong nangyari?
Dahil maraming komplikasyon. So these are the things we are doing right now. We are trying to benchmark on things, anong mga gaps dito, anong mga dapat gawin po natin dito. Again, what is important is not the number of cases. What is important are the quality of cases filed and not the arrest but rather the conviction. At yung po ang drive namin dito sa DILG at sa PNP,
Susunod
of
na
course,
question, importante.
in cooperation with the Department of Justice.
Yan na yan, yan na yan.
Okay.
Next question. Vince from Manila Standard.
Sir,
Manila
good afternoon po.
Yes, Vince.
Sir, will the government
Yan.
intensify its illegal drugs campaign, particularly in Metro Manila, following the
Patong internet
accomplishments of the DILG on the San
Narinig ka.
Fernando, Pampanga drug bust?
Well, yes.
Yung una
we will
niyang tanong,
surely-
yung una niyang bungad, yung bungad guys, itutuloy ba ng gobyerno ang illegal? Pakinggan mo nga. Kasi may parang
Okay,
may
okay.
smooth na naman eh. May smooth episode na naman eh.
Yun nga.
Ulitin,
lugar,
ulitin.
let's say nasa Mindanao at nasa ano, baka po pwede, of course, in cooperation with the Department of Justice. Okay.
Next question. Vince
Yan.
from Manila Standard.
Sir, good afternoon po.
Yes, Vince.
Sir, will the government intensify its illegal drugs campaign, particularly in Metro Manila,
Oh,
following
anong
the
sabi?
accomplishments
Will intensify its illegal drugs campaign. Ang
Huli
gobyerno
ka,
pa lang
Brad!
may... Hindi naman siguro. Hindi na lang talaga
Kala
alam.
nyo ha, kala nyo ha.
Yung gobyerno ba ang nagbebenta ng drugs pa? Hindi naman.
Akala nila hindi natin mahuhuli niya eh. Akala
Hindi,
nila
nahuli
mga
mo, hindi
tao
mo yan
nito,
napansin eh.
ewan ko kung sinasadya yan ni, ano ba yan, Philippine,
Hindi
ano yan,
naman.
Daily Tribune, sino yan?
Standard to standard. Manila standard.
Standard.
Okay
Oh,
naman to sila.
Manila Standard.
Pero
Mayos ka.
para lang din yung traffic enforcer. Di ba? Yung term na traffic enforcer, bakit mo enforce yung traffic? Dapat traffic rules enforcer, di ba? Parang ganon. So,
Kaya nga.
parang ikaw yung nagkukos ng traffic kung ikaw ay traffic enforcer. So, ano kaya sagot dito? So, ang tanong niya is, ipapatuloy daw ba yung anti-illegal drugs campaign? Hindi yung
Sige.
illegal drugs campaign.
Principle of charity na lang tayo.
of the DILG on the San Fernando, Pampanga drug bust?
Well, yes. We will surely intensify the war on drugs. But, you know, for me, it's not just the police who should move on this. It is one thing that everyone should act on this. Parang may isang puno eh, hindi ba? Ang puno, may sanga. Putol ka ng putol ng saka, baka mamaya may tumubo. Kung gusto mong tanggalin ng puno, tanggalin mo ang ugat ng puno. Ang sanga ay ang mga pusher. Ang mga pulis natin, inaalay ang buhay, kailangan talagang putulin ng putulin dahil lalaki ang sangang yan. Pero mas maganda siguro kung magtulungan tayo yung ugat nito, which is the community, the school, the family, Everyone should help. And that is what the DILG would like to do. We will strengthen the Barangay Anti-Drug Abuse Council, go to the grassroots of everything. Poverty, counseling to the youth. No? We could do a lot of activities together, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, mga kabataan. And who could better counsel a child, a kid? Yung din kabataan eh. Kung minsan papagalitan ko nanay.
Teka. There's so in fairness, okay, ganito Secretary, pilit ka po. Yung ano ko, yung issue ko na yan, merong supply side, merong demand side. Again, you're in the demand side. Kasi sabi mo lang, gusto mong puntahan yung ugat, ayaw mo dun sa sanga, you want to go to the ugat, you go to the manufacturer, to the importer. Not into the leaves. Pumunta ka sa dahon na attorney. Yun lang yung masasabi ko.
Sabi, matanda ka na kasi, daddy. Eh. Pero yung barkada sa barkada, remember, peer pressure is different. And not only that, the rise of cybercrimes. Iba ngayon because of this online. Iba ang mga bata. So kailangan palakasin natin ang self-esteem. Gumawa tayong mga activities for the kids with one theme. Say no to drugs. So we're going to do this. Rest assured, the police will do its best. Together, of course, with the NBI, sama-sama kami rito. But much more than that, we as a people, as a community, on the ground, grassroots, tulungan nyo rin po kami dito. Let's have this advocacy. Palakasin natin ang pag-igtingan natin lalong ganito. It could be through sports, culture, arts, singing. We could have themes every month. We could do this. Diba? As long as the kids will know na, oops, pangit pala yan, hindi maganda yan. Thank you.
Kailangan natin ng tulong ng konti ni Mayor Abalo sa issue na yan. Ikaw, Attorney, ano masasabi mo as an approach to this problem?
Tungkol saan nga uli? Kasi mas mabagal pa tong internet ko sa pagsasalita ni Benner Abalos eh.
Hindi, there's a problem with the video. In fact, when I post it, kaya nga minsan I post it para makahabol lang yung video sa audio. Because there's something wrong with the internet talaga. No? But anyway, yung sinasabi niya is to go to the roots. And then, believe na sana ako doon na kung para daw masolusyonan yung drug problem, kailangan pumunta sa ugat. Huwag daw sa sanga.
Wala, ginugulpi ako ng gusto dito.
Hindi mo maintindihan. Okay. Yun. So, wag daw mag-focus sa sanga. Kailangan daw sa roots. Kaya daw pupunta sa community. So, parang supply side, demand side, yung root is the supply side. Konti lang yung ugat eh. The trunk is only one. And now he wants to go to the dahon. Dahon yung pupuntahan niya. Yung mga bata daw.
Dahon.
Yun na yun. Yung mga dahon. Baliktad ata. Hindi ko naintindihan yun. Kailangan niya linawin niya na maayos. Yun lang ang reaction ko dyan.
Ang intindihan ko dyan, ang naintindihan ko sa sinasabi
But
niya.
good, But it's good. It's good na magkaroon ng programa dito sa
PLDT dito sa Korea.
Yes. So attorney, it's good na magkaroon ng programa on the kids, those are all good things. But as a focus, yun lang. Hindi ko masyadong Okay, yun, ito, who are funding, di ba? For funding, cut the funds. Yun. Tsaka, di ba, how do you bring the money out of the country? It passes through the banks. It passes through the banks. How do they pay for the imported drugs? Don't tell me they bring out the cash.
Tana talaga ako.
Yun. Anyway,
saan ito?
mag-reset ka kaya ng connection mo one more time, but we'll just play para matuloy na natin.
Chris Jose, Ibate.
Tuloy lang.
Sir, balikan ko lang po yung sa sumuko na NPA and ASG. Sir, may dun po sa 100 na ASG, meron po bang leader ng ASG na nag-express ng intention? Nang sumuko na po pala?
I'm not so sure about the leaders, no? But I was informed. Talaga nagpapasalamat po ako dito sa intel ng PNP kay Governor Sakurtan, sa military, no? Tuwan-tuwa dahil, of course, DILG, dahil This is the biggest, Chris, the biggest Abu Sayyaf group that really surrendered. At marami pang iba. I assure you that sunod-sunod po ito. But what is important here is to make sure na talaga namang pag-surrender nila, akapin na natin yung programa ng gobyerno for them about livelihood, lahat po ay magawa po natin. I think the slides are ready for the by-bust, March. Okay na ba? I'm sorry, wala pa yata.
Yes, Sec.
Okay, can you play it? Can you play it, please? Okay. Hindi. Yan pala. No, hindi sa by-bust yan. That's the one in ano. Okay. Yung kanina, that's the one in Cagayan de Oro. Pero yung rebels came from Bukidnon. No? Yan ang drug by-bust. Isa-isang gas station yan na may dumating na kotse. No? So, next please, pakiulit lang. So, yan. Kung makikita nyo, parang nakatsae. It's a T, may mga Chinese characters na nakalagay sa loob. That one is about 60 kilos, worth about 408 million street value of the drugs. Okay. It's one of the biggest drug haul this year. Thanks, of course, to the Philippine National Police, to General Vic Danao and his team, and of course, the Regional Director of Region 3. Next, please. Wala na ba? Wala na. Matipid yata kami sa picture dito eh. Oo. Hiniram ko lang sa...
Yan yung ugat na sinasabi natin, no? Focus there. Rather than on the people in the barangay. Tama po yun. Yan yung ano, maganda talaga. Approve na approve yan. Approve na approve.
Sa mga media ron. Next. Okay. I'm sorry but I have another meeting to go. Huh? Okay
Sec,
lang ba?
can you still accommodate 2 more questions?
Sige.
Last 2. Alvin Baltasar and then Vance Fernandez.
Secretary, magandang hapon po.
Yes.
Tungkol doon po sa ASG tsaka sa NPA, ano po ba in-offer ng pamahalaan na tulong doon sa mga nagsisuko? Tsaka ano po yung nagtulak sa kanila para sumuko sila sa government?
Well, under our program, we've got an immediate assistance amounting to about 15,000. And we've got a livelihood assistance. We've got a reintegration assistance. And of course, firearms remuneration. Depende sa isusurrender na barel kung anong kalibre po ito. And of course, meron pa ring mga iba. Meron pa rin medical assistance, access to government services, legal assistance, housing, and iba pa mga programa ng pamahalaan. So what is important is to make sure na yung integration back to the community, to the fold, talaga maging successful. And that is what we're working right now. Ang surrender isang araw lang yan eh. Pero ang problema yung ngayon, yung bukas. Kaya nga, I told our directors sa baba, interagency to, talagang tulungan namin, akapin natin ang mga kababayan natin at mga kapatid natin.
Secretary, follow-up lang po.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. Ang thrust ng government in anti local or domestic insurgencies to stop the insurgency. Okay, that would entail killing the enemies if it is a war, or just stopping, just eliminating it, disarming them, and all that. Itong dimension on reintegration of these rebel returnees is a social function of the government. Wala na naman akong
Meron.
audio.
Meron. Just go ahead. We can hear you. Okay. Game. Go ahead.
Wala, nag-post na naman.
Go ahead. Pagbigyan lang natin siya. Baka mabagal kasi yung in sa kanya eh. Go ahead. Ahmed.
Continue.
Yeah.
Wala na
Go.
akong
Continue.
wala na akong
Just
narinig.
continue.
Putol-putol na.
No, just talk. Just
Ilang-
talk.
ilang-
Kasi naririnig ka namin audio-wise. Hello?
Oo nga, pero wala akong
ulit-ulit lang.
naririnig sa inyo. Hindi ko kayo naririnig. Hindi ko naintindihan yung comment mo. Wala na
Yeah,
akong
but
naintindihan.
I'm listening
Ako
to you.
nagsasalita, wala akong reaction. Okay, sige.
Anyway.
Ang
Sige,
yung function ng returnee ng
mm.
okay, ituloy ko lang to, konti na lang to. Yung
Yes.
integration na sinasabi niya is not really not well within the program eliminating of the domestic insurgency. That is a social function of the government, which is being put in there to make it more humane. Okay? Kasi requirement yan ng international law na we have to be humane to the people that are even the enemies of the state. Those people who actually intend to kill our soldiers and to kill our masses. Okay? And that is what the NPA is all about. Even then, dapat pa rin gawin ng gobyerno yan. But as I understand it, you cannot do it at the same time. Okay? If there is a war, you fight the war first. You just be humane in not using the dumb bullets and those things that are illegal in the articles of in the laws of war. Pero dapat may mauuna dyan. Kung gusto pa rin ng magyera ng mga ito, ay pagbigyan sila ng gyera. Pero kung gusto nila mag-surrender, ay sumurrender sila para maumpisahan na natin ang social dimension ng ating anti-domestic insurgency problem. Okay? So, dahil ang problema dyan is pinagsasabay-sabay natin itong gyera. Okay? This is an actual war because they are involved in an armed revolution. So, kung pagsasabay-sabayan mo na how do you act humanely to a person that is shooting your soldiers? Diba? So, that is why meron tayong international law on war na hindi pwedeng gumamit ng certain bullets na nag-disintegrate sa loob ng katawan. Meron ding bawal gumamit ng landmines which the NPA almost always uses.
They use it. Like yung sa Masbate, they did that.
Yes.
Yung mga soccer player ba yun? Yun.
So, yan ang nangyayari dyan, that these people has been abusing the international law on war against the government, and the government here it is still sticking to the social and humane and just laws of international law about dealing with these killers. So, paano natin yan i-resolve? Political will. Duterte was already in the proper direction, but he had no more time to do that. But para sa akin, we have to choose first. If there is a war, because they want a war, we give them war.
Actually, di ba? Okay, this is actually a big issue because they want to be considered as a belligerent force. They want to be considered as a force that is legitimately waging war. It's not war actually which they are doing. Okay, what they're doing is terrorism. Okay,
that is my opinion now.
Kaya nga what we have with them is not a war. It's actually terrorism. That's why nakapagtataka bakit itong mga EU ganon, sila rin naman yung nag-declare na terrorist group yung NPA, pati US. Meron silang declaration yan that the NPA is a terrorist group. And then kapag hinuli mo, di kay you're violating human rights.
Okay, continue.
Ayun, so we'll continue. Play. Ikaw na mag-play.
Okay.
Ilan na lang po ba yung pwersa ng NPA at ISP base sa records niyo?
Well, ayoko muna sabihin sana rito pero I assure you, yung sa Abu Sayyaf, konting-konti na lang. Okay? Konting-konti na lang. Bubulong ko na lang sa iyo kung ilan, pero ayoko munang sabihin on TV. I assure you, konting-konti na lang. Yes.
Yun ang yung mga operational matters na hindi dapat ini-insist from our resource persons sa mga ganitong bagay, mga operational matters, operational details. Tingnan natin kung insist niya.
Secretary, last question from Vance Fernandez.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Vance.
The DILG on Thursday highlighting the success of the whole of the government approach in dealing with armed communist conflicts, and touting towards continuing the highly successful policy, does the DILG and the Marcos administration as a whole have any set expectation of the potential further success of the policy? Is the Philippines on the track to potentially or nullify the armed communist threat within the Marcos administration from this successful policy?
Well, actually,
Okay, hold on.
Teka, sino to?
Ano,
Sino to? Parang gusto ko
yung
malaman kung
matanda.
sino siya. Kaya
Yung
ano siya?
matanda, yung matanda.
Ano daw ba
Yan,
yung
yan.
network nito? Oh, yan.
Hindi, ito lang ang comment ko muna tungkol sa line of questioning nitong Allen na to. That is a proper way of asking question. First, you lay down the context of your question. You give a little bit of history about what you are going to ask. Okay, yan yung tama ang pagtatanong. Hindi yung bigla na lang magtatanong na wala sa outline. Okay, itong babae na ito, she learned something in her life. And that is very important for this young journalist around her to learn. Now, the other comment is that it doesn't matter what she asks, if it's ridiculous or not, the way she is asking it is proper. So, bahala na yung nagsasagot sa kanya kung sasabihan siya na the content of your question is crazy, but you are asking it properly. Yan lang yung punto ko dyan.
Yeah, sige. Go play. Ikaw mag-play.
Ay, nasa na kayo?
Kasabay.
Teka muna, naligaw na ako
Yan,
yan
ba mo? No, nilipat mo eh.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
yes, ma'am.
Ikaw
The
magpili.
Okay na.
DILG Thursday highlighting the success of the whole of the government approach
Yan.
in dealing with armed communist conflicts, and touting towards
Background
continuing the highly successful policy. Does the DILG and the Marcos administration as a whole have any set expectation of the potential further success of the policy? Is the Philippines on the track to potentially or nullify the armed communist threat within the Marcos administration from this successful policy?
Well, actually, no, ang ating Pangulo ay talagang on hand po rito. Ang talagang puso niya, makikita naman, kampanya pa lang eh. Ano sinasabi niya? Sama-sama tayong babangon muli. It is from this theme na kaya kami gumagalaw. Sa totoo lang ako, hindi na yata ako nakaka-uwi ng bahay ko eh. Dire-diretso eh. No, dire-diretso talaga ito. Kasi ganun kasipag si Presidente. Hindi natutulog nga. Akala ko nung eleksyon tapos na eh. Yung pala, mas matindi pala nung naging Presidente. Talagang dire-diretso po kami rito. Well, yung kanyang theme going back na sinasabi niyang sama-sama tayong babangon muli, he really takes it to his heart. Walang maiiwan po dito. That is why this kind of program, itong LCAC, itong ECLIP, talaga itutuloy namin because what is important here is that it's not the act or gesture of surrendering. What is important is the integration. That they will really feel that government is there for them, as it is for everyone. That is important. With this, I would like...
Okay. Saglit lang. Itong style ni Benhur Abalos now, this is not probably relevant in the politics of all these things or the policy, but the way he is talking is almost like an apologist of the government, which at this time really is not important or needed. Because this government needs no apologist at this time.
It's just starting.
Oh, it's just starting. Wala pang apologist. Say it with conviction and with if it has to be harsh, then say it. Because this is now how your government will make the impression to the national community and the international community. So itong si Abalos has to learn something more in how to say things. Like Attorney Trixie,
Learning
hindi niya alam, sasabihin ni Attorney Trixie na hindi ko alam yan. Okay?
Yeah,
Except that ang pinaka malulupit dito ay tayong dalawa.
Hindi, ito si Abalos, ako. Sinasabi ko nga, ito yung Abalos 2.0 eh. Dahil wala naman talaga siya masyadong national government exposure prior to this one. MMDA, mataas, di ba? Mayor. Pero magaling to. I have high hopes for this guy. And knowing that going into the DILG, no, walang bitbit na ano na mga utang na loob sa labas at saka ano, alam mo yung mga old timers na diyan na puro utang na loob na lang yung tinitingnan. I think ano, yung makikita mo yung seriousness niya, that's a big plus factor for all of these ano things na sinasabi niyang focus niya, which is revolutionaries, insurgency, counterinsurgency, yung law enforcement, no? Which is actually just the other half of the DILG's work. Isa sa malaking bagay at mahalaga na hindi natututukan actually, na hindi pa niya nababanggit is yung ano, our DILG's oversight of the way that local governments are run. Yun yung importante actually, no? Mahalagang
Tama,
bagay
tama.
yun kasi yung
Especially the barangay.
yung basura, yung ano, yung alam mo yun, yung corruption sa local governments. Lahat yan. Sila yung nagsususpend, sila yung nag-ano ng mga mayors, di ba? So, mahalaga din yung aspect na maybe yun yung next na focus. But antabayan na natin yan. But knowing that he himself has been a very well-experienced mayor, hindi tayo magtataka kung kumbaga hindi na niya sinasabi yan kasi forte na niya yan.
Okay, one last thing. This is for us who are watching these things. This is for us, the Filipino people, watching our politicians say things to us. How do we listen to them? And how do we listen to the media asking them questions? Kagaya ng niyan, we have to look at the way they ask questions, like this other media person who maybe by slip of the tongue or just really by carelessness said, is this government going to continue the illegal drug campaign? Kailangan we have to be critical of those things. We have to be quick. And dito rin kaya DILG Secretary Abalos, we have to also balance the way that he focuses on the social and the just humane way of dealing with the insurgency with the actual and the more exigent and more important and more parang right now it's the most important thing to do first, okay? Na giyerahin ang nanggigiyera sa atin. So parang tipong okay, pagka inulit-ulit pa ito ni Abalos na puro ka na lang social dyan at saka just and humane ka dyan, wala ka nang mangyayari sa campaign mo against the insurgents because those people will kill anyone. They will kill anyone, government or not government. And to think that the government is supposed to have more resources and more capacity to go to war with these people. Okay, so next time na marinig natin si Abalos na puro just and humane pa rin ang sinasabi niya, we already have a problem with him.
But
right now,
not necessarily. I wouldn't jump into that kasi ito si Abalos, the DILG, no? Yung NPA kasi is not necessarily purely police matter. Okay, meron yan silang certain radius from the town centers or city centers to be considered a police issue. And beyond that, that's already the militaries and that is now under the Department of National Defense. So ibang aspeto pa yon.
Yes.
Yon. So kumbaga he's only responsible for
that is
kumbaga he's only responsible for
sorry.
he's only responsible for a small part of that big issue of the NPAs, no? Hindi natin pwedeng iasa sa kanya lahat ng buong kampanya against the NPAs. Pero yun, ang epekto kasi sa kanyang side, no? Kasi yung local governance under sa kanya. Yep. Go ahead.
Backgrounder before now, before Duterte, I think, or even Noynoy, ang NPA is a police matter, but it's the armed forces that's fighting it. Kasi ano ba ang function ng armed forces? It's all outside threat. Okay? Pero ngayon, lately, ginawa na siyang issue of internal peace and order kasi it is what it is. But there is also an argument that it is a threat to it's no longer a local threat, but actually a national threat which would categorize NPA as a threat to the sovereignty of this country, which is also like a foreign outside threat. Pero
Tsaka wag natin
lately,
kalimutan
ang
yung
thrust
terrorist.
natin is just to relegate the NPA to the matter of a local problem.
Yeah, and may issue dyan ng may component yan na terrorism. Okay? And
Bawat
terrorism is the terrorism na involved dito, especially yung sa mga yung sa separatist naman dito sa Mindanao, and then itong NPA movement na may component na internationally financed. Kaya it's really a matter na hindi mo pwedeng alisin sa military. And I think the military is more in a better position to deal with it rather than the PNP. Tama, attorney? O yan, may ISIS na may ISIS na component. Merong even this this is related to that. Kasi itong there has been a lot of studies showing that itong mga armed groups natin, some of them are actually being financed by income from illegal trade, sometimes smuggling of consumer goods. You remember that issue in Zamboanga before? From smuggling, they earn income, and then that money that they make there is used to finance criminal activities. Kaya hindi yan siya hiwalay. Yeah, it is a shared thing. I know. Okay, we know that this is a shared thing, but noon kasi nga it was mostly a police thing, no? And in fact, itong ating military, they are in a better position kung nandoon na talaga sa mga bundok-bundok yung mga pinag-aawayan natin ng mga lugar. Itong sinasabi, it's not an assumption, there are reports, yung AMLA reports ng DSP, which actually confirms na meron talaga. And hindi lang papunta sa bundok, pati na rin dito sa kanilang mga, alam mo na. Kaya lang, sasabihin na, red tag na naman tayo, hindi naman tayo pwede mong red tag. Tuloy natin!
To thank the media. Maraming salamat po. And of course, Trixie. Thank you so much. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Interior and Local Government Secretary Benher Abalos and Press Secretary Trixie Cruz-Angeles.
Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Malacanang Press Corps.
Yan, in closing lang, I hope mas naging tayo, enlightened about the issues that are going to happen or are happening right now. And ang masasabi ko lang sa press ngayon, they're different from the last time. This is a better, kumbaga mas professional ng bahagya, or alam mo yan, malayong professional ditong mga nakita natin today compared to the last time. And Ahmed is coming back. Now, I remember Ferdinand Sr. did to the drug lords death sentence by firing squad in Mindanao, no man's land. The problem with drugs at that time was not that high, I suppose, because in the 80s, marijuana lang naman nata yun, tsaka Forex D, tsaka ano ba yung mga uso nun? Yung mga injection, no? Which can be actually limited by supply side curtailment, no? Attorney Ahmed, you have the audio. Can you speak up? Hello, Ahmed. Please speak up. When you start talking, I will stop talking, okay? So I'll just fill in para hindi tayo mag-dead air. So sabi, parang panahon ni GMA yung pagsali ng AFP. Oops, nawala. Ang sama ng internet service sa bansang ito. Oh, yan. It will be addressed. Sino ba itong ating dito? Ay, nako, Atty. Ahmed. Basilan, okay. Ulitin ko lang Parang panahon ni GMA, there is this retired AFP general who is now a vlogger who tells his story about his encounters with the NPA in his vlogs. Oh, share. I-PM mo sa akin yan Gusto ko yan. And yeah, it's really itong kay okay, nabasa na pala natin. Foundations Kuno. Eh, pantry. Where's the pantry pala? Gutom ako. Actually, gusto ko ng pantry ngayon. Food pantry. Sila pa rin naman. Yun. I guess, mas well-behaved sila ngayon. No. Merong mga doon, may mga ibang tao doon na iba yung accent. Natulog ka na. Oo naman. Bakit ikaw nakatulog? Ano? Attorney, si Osap ha? Yep. Mag-converge ka na. Converge, is it good really? Kasi actually maganda naman to siya, no? PLDT, to be fair. No? Yung Converge kasi, may mga lugar alam ko na okay siya. Pero mahal eh. Mas mura ata. So si Attorney Ahmed ay anong masasabi niyo doon sa pagpapasan ng batas ni Senador Padilla na magiging medicine na ang marijuana po? Hindi pa siya batas, no? It is actually just bill. And yung medical marijuana bill has been with our Congress for the longest time. And in fairness to those yung mga parents or mga pasyente mismo na may karamdaman whose pain cannot be suppressed by any other medication but that. Kaya nga medical marijuana, no? You have to point out that term, medical. Hindi siya magiging medicine, okay? Medical marijuana. Kasi meron kasi mga extracts ang marijuana na pwede siyang gawing iba-ibang klaseng formulation. Merong by oil, by tablet. Ewan ko pa, iba-ibang mga ways of administering it na talagang nakatulong siya sa mga may sakit ng cancer na matindi, ganun. So there are people who really need it. But because it is unlawful in any form sa atin, hindi siya pwedeng magamit. And to be able to get a special permit for it, ang tindi, butas ng karayom ng dadaanan ng mga pasyente sa ngayon. Some of them are able to get it. Pero grabe yung reklamo na pahirap kasi talagang bubusisiin. But in the US, yan, it is already valid and once may prescription ka from a friend, then you get to enjoy it. Are you back, attorney? May audio ka na? Can you hear? Can you try, please? If you can. Oil, yeah, may oil, meron ding brownies. Ito, sabi niya may oil. Yes, may oil, may brownies, may we had Converge for Carambola. Oh, yun. I hope they all go to hell. Sorry. Cannabis oil. Gamot sa autism. Yes. Yes, there is also Kaya kung nag-file si Robin Padilla ng bill on that, well, good luck because marami talaga makikinabang dyan. And the most important part is dun sa law enforcement part na wag silang maging kampante na dahil ginawa ng batas for medical marijuana, pwede na siyang gamitin sa non-medical use. That is not the intention of the law. So, medical marijuana is basically being used as a pain medication. Yep, and sometimes to relax. Meron kasi mga brain conditions na kailangan i-tone down yung kanina parang ano ba tawag yan? Basta, nag-relate ng utak, hindi ako doktor. Ayoko nang magkunwaring doktor. So, sino pa? Alright, I think tonight, we will have to find out if ito si attorney kayang ayusin yung kanyang signal. But if, we will decide whether we will continue tonight. We still have tickets to raffle off and meron pa akong ipapadala doon ng mga winners. So, see you sana tonight. If not tonight, kung gumanda yung araw, babalik kami. Uy, happy birthday. Bakit birthday ko ba? Is it my birthday? Hindi pa naman. Si Ahmed yung nag-birthday kahapon. Not me. So, magbabalik kami sana tonight. I will try to help him out if I can. Fix that signal there. So, mag-music na ako, tanggalin na yung mga headphone, baka may magreklamo ulit, and see you later. JP nga pala to, sa mga hindi nakakakilala, may Gcash dyan. Hindi, loko lang.